investigations. Renaissance beauty ideals were unyielding and deliberately exclusive. Marinello's book exposed a meshwork of Renaissance ideas about health, medicine, and personality that formed a toxic combination, which only sometimes, unconsciously, justified hierarchies of sex, class, and race, including many that we haven't entirely shaken off. However, it also gave a palpable sense of the pleasure to be found in beauty culture, its role at the heart of female friendships and social lives, and the space it afforded women to spend time away from their often violent and sneering menfolk. The text gave tantalizing clues about how women could use ornament, the catch-all term in this period, for the adornment of the hair, face, and body, in creative and subversive ways, as a space for rebellion, self-expression, and experimentation. I have to admit, though, this isn't the book I thought I'd write. Inspired by Marinello, I set off to research the history of cosmetics in the Italian Renaissance, a subject that hasn't received much attention and is wrongly still sometimes dismissed as trivial. I ended up astonished by Renaissance women's inventive and thoughtful reactions to their appearance-obsessed culture. I followed where the primary sources led, and I found myself in some unexpected places. Selling peaches with peasant women on the busy streets of Renaissance Venice, on the stage with female actors, considering the complex relationship between external appearance and internal feelings, listening to learned doctors argue over whether dark-haired women were fertile, worrying over my weight in the stately halls of 16th century Mantua, listening to a network of working-class women brewing up poison in the face of domestic violence, and finally, in my own kitchen, marvelling over the skills and knowledge inherent in Renaissance cosmetics recipes. I realised that beauty culture has tendrils that wind their way through women's lives and can't be isolated from everything else. What we do with our hair, face, and body reflects and affects our social world. Highlighting an eclectic range of female voices from the period, at turns funny, insightful, surprising, and poignant, it's not surprising that there was no one way of being a woman in the Renaissance, as now. I reveal here how some women were able to use beauty to their advantage, at least until they got too old to wield this all-too-fickle weapon, while others struggled against a beauty culture they saw as unfair, superficial, and oppressive. I suspect that most listeners won't have heard of these women before, yet they deserve to be firmly anchored in the history of feminism. They include the first female published poets and playwrights, composers and philosophers, actors and artists. I'm also including a selection of updated recipes to encourage everyone to have a go at making Renaissance cosmetics themselves. These recipes demonstrate the impressive range of hands-on scientific knowledge many women possessed at the time. These unheralded early chemists and botanists. They not only showed an understanding of natural ingredients, especially plants and their properties, but also a technical understanding of how to manipulate them. To make face tonics using distillation, or moisturizer using emulsion, or hair conditioner by extracting mucilage from mallow. It takes hard work to have a socially acceptable body. And as many feminist writers have pointed out, this work is, and was, harder and more exacting for women than for men. Bathing, brushing, deodorizing, hair removal, shampooing, cleansing, toning, moisturizing, worrying over our diet. And that's before we even think about putting on makeup. All these procedures and processes we carry out every day, or most days, often in an intimate space, a bathroom or a bedroom perhaps. Other forms of body care might be less frequent, a visit to the